Okay, so we're going to start with the moms class, and then if you're teaching multiple classes, just go ahead and share all of your classes at once. I just put your name on once, and so it's not, you just share your class and then it's going to skip you on the other day. So we're going to start with mom's class, and then I'll talk a little bit more about this. Well, I think we've gone over this.
If we have little people, you can sit on the floor too.
Isn't Beth?
The mum class is, and my shirt is it just arrived today. I bought it for myself a month ago. Don't be jealous. You can get it from China too. And the mum class is a great opportunity to do the you first thing and to gather together as mothers who have common desires, and it's been a real joy this last semester to have a mum class. We're going to have 2 mum classes this coming year, and there'll be one on the Tuesday morning, so you can drop off children and then come straight to mum class, or on the Wednesday afternoon, so just come a bit earlier before you pick up. We're going to, since SVLA does, each semester is 3 sections of 5 weeks. So we're hoping for 3 mums, well 6 mums actually, 1 for each class. Let me explain this better. So each semester there'll be 3 5-week sections. And so we need a mother to volunteer to teach just a 5-week section. And you get to teach the things that you love. Just like we've been talking about, the things that you're passionate about, whether it be health things and just things that you think will be applicable to all other mothers as well. And it's a wonderful opportunity to learn and grow and discuss together. We've learned a lot of things. We've cried together and laughed together and taken copious notes and photos of each other's planners and all sorts of things. It's been wonderful. So join Mum's class, it's really fun.
All right, I'd just like to, I sent an email about this, but please, mentors, keep it as quick as we can. We would really like to leave some time without falling asleep for personal, so people can talk to you, okay? So 5 minutes max per class, but if you can be shorter, be shorter. And
1 minute.
we're gonna give you a 1-minute warning. So we can get through everybody. We just have a lot this year, super excited. Monday, we're going to start the CG's Canyon Grove. So this is the enrichment that the Canyon Grove kids will be able to sign up for first, but then it'll be open for everyone. So this is for our juniors, these first ones, but then they are also teaching multiple, so just talk about all your classes. So come on up. You. It's Thomas.
I saw Cole in the back.
Oh, I just saw her.
Hello everyone, my name is Anastasia Thomas. I'm a part of Kyushin Karate. I'm here to tell you a little bit about our program tonight. First of all, we teach kids from age 4 up to, well, as old as you can get. We have 2 classes going on, one on Monday, one on Tuesday. I believe they're both at 1:30 to 2:30? Yeah.
Check the website.
Yep, check the website. Basically what we are here to do is we are here to teach karate and self-defense. For those of you who are younger in age, you have a lot to deal with. Karate is good in certain situations, mainly if you ever come across a bully. Hopefully not. It is also good for confidence and controlling adrenaline in situations where you will need to, high pressure situations. I know a lot of kids are being coached on how to give talks. Trust me, right now I have to control my adrenaline, and it's hard. And that's actually one thing that sparring has helped me do. For older kids, you guys are about to start going on dates, aren't you? Uh-oh. Moms and dads beware. Okay, if you go on a date, do you think you may want to know some defense? Some self-defense? Boys, do you think you might want to be able to protect your date? Girls, do you think you might want to be able to kick your date's butt? Yeah. We teach proper kicking techniques. I know a lot of people just seem to think, oh, kick them in the gonads and we're good. No, it does not work that way. It, more than not, does not work that way. In the older class, we teach joint manipulation, which is a good way, as some of these students know, to go, oh my, ow, that really, really hurts, and it doesn't look that much. It doesn't look like it. It's a really good way to get someone off you if need be, and we go all the way from a mild, hey, can you please take your hands off me, to a, okay, really, something's really wrong, you're planning on hurting me, I need you to stop now. Younger kids, we have a lot of fun stuff. We actually teach things that are seen in movies. Even though some of those things don't actually work in real life, we still teach them because it's fun. And we also teach, here's Cole Thomas.
Sorry, I had to talk to those guys before they ran out. I apologize for not being in the very beginning. I don't know what she's covered, so just like always, she's probably more fantastic than I ever will be. She just is.
We teach punching situations on which you should get out of. Situational awareness is one of the actually biggest things that we teach. Mainly just knowing what your situation is and if you should get out of there.
I don't know what else you covered. I'm so lost. You guys probably know more than I
We do try and teach together. So you have both a male and a female doing the classes, which is really awesome because males and females are different.
Okay,
We work differently.
better idea. Boys who have been in my class, what did she miss? What else did we do? Did she cover it all? You guys were in here. Yeah, I see a few nodding heads going, she's really good. It's amazing, they'll never disagree with her because she really is amazing. Yes? Yeah, okay. I apologize. I tend to worry when I'm outside and I just walk in and don't know. I apologize.
All right, yeah, thank you very much. Let us know if you'd like to come.
So I will have two classes. Monday afternoon will be for children ages 6. So it's through the Canyon Grove. And many of the children have taken with me. I teach in my home. So I usually try to do a little bit of everything. So each project will be an art concept, and then we do a different medium. So maybe chalk or water paint or tissue paper collage or some media so that they get a little taste. Maybe we'll talk about perspective or how to do a landscape or how to do a face. The Monday class will be general, and it's kind of like in the summers I teach my grandchildren and I try things out on them. And their age range is 6 on up to 15 or 16. And so on Monday, it'll be a mixed group like that. Tuesday, I'm continuing the country art. I have samples out on the table of the countries that we will do. I try to take 3 or 4 from each area of the world, so Asia, Europe, Eastern Europe, the Middle East, Central America, South America, the Pacific, and then honor those countries. So if you get a book from the library, it will talk about the politics and the problems. I'm not interested in that. What about the country is fascinating, or what would honor them? Some countries like Japan or France have so much culture. I sometimes do multiples of those. But another country, for example, I brought in, this is the project for Chile. You might not know, there's Easter Island with the Moai statues looking out at the sea. There are the San Juan Islands where Andrew Selkirk was marooned for 4 years He was the one that Robinson Crusoe was based on. So we're doing rocks and water with tissue paper. The rocks are actually a crumpled up old lunch bag, just to give the kids fun creating a collage. What does water look like? How do you get it to look like water? Where's the horizon? How do you get the sky? This one, this is Iran. They're Muslim. They don't do representational art of people or animals. It's all geometric. They also do fabulous weaving with their carpets. So this is geometric and colored pencil. So each country is a subject that would honor them. You learn a little bit about the country, you do the art, and you learn an art concept and the meanings. Thank you.
I have several classes, so I'm going to talk fast. I didn't teach this year, and I really miss everyone. So I'm teaching next year, and I'm hopefully handing off enough stuff to everyone else that I can handle it all. So Monday, we are doing musical theater, and we are doing the Lion King experience. For those of you who don't know, MTI is a international musical theater, international, whatever. They put together this incredible experience. It comes with lesson plans and drums, and they learn African words and language and drumming and about the culture and all these amazing things while they produce a play. So the play is actually very short. It's like a 30-minute production. So over the course of just the first semester, we will put together the production. Everyone on the directing team, so there's actually a couple ways to sign up. If you are a youth that is 14 and older and want to be on the production team, you can also audition for the show, but you will be part of presenting those lesson plans, teaching the drumming, teaching the language, so you'll be learning stuff over the summer and preparing to help me teach all of these little lions and hyenas. And then if you are a youth that don't want to be on a production team but just want to audition, you can sign up for that. And then this is open to anyone, all homeschoolers, Canyon Grovers, SVLAers, it's whoever wants to come and be a part of this. It's going to be super fun, and ages 5 and up. So that's musical theater Lion King experience. It's going to be fantastic. And then on Tuesday, is that ukulele? Yes. I'm doing a ukulele strummers class, mainly because my kids are all crazy about ukuleles, and one of them has one in hand every second of every day. So we're just going to play, we're going to learn music, bring your ukuleles. You do not have to have experience, but if you do, great, you can help. We're going to just learn a bunch of songs, learn a bunch of music, and learn about music while we learn how to play the ukulele together. And we'll probably do some harmony in a little ukulele band. Super fun, it's an elective. On Tuesday, it's open to everyone. And then on Wednesday, this is Scholar Day. Is Ryan here? Ryan's not here? Okay. So Ryan Garrettson, Corey's daughter, she came to me and says, I really want to do a hard choir, like learn really hard stuff. And I said, okay, I will help you. So it's her class, and I am helping mentor. We are doing a audition-only scholar choir. And that, again, is on the enrichment block. It's at the end of the day, so that's open to everyone. We are only going to take, I think we said up to 4 on each part. So maximum, we will have 16 in that class. We will be doing all kinds of music from all different time periods and all different styles. It will require that you can sing on pitch, but you do not have to be like a soloist and be the best singer in the world to be a part of it. So if you're interested and you want to come join us and learn some music, we're going to have a lot of fun. All right. Oh, for spring. Are we doing spring too? Oh, okay. Tuesday in the spring, the ukulele class will go away, right? And I'm doing up-tempo choir. And if you don't know what that is, it's a performing choir. We don't just stand there and sing. We actually dance around the room while we sing, and it's a lot of fun. So we do a lot of Broadway, Disney. It's really up-tempo, and we dance around the room and sing. It's awesome. And then on Wednesday, the scholar choir will go away, and in the spring we're doing musical theater. And that's going to be scenes and songs. So from all different times of Broadway, we will perform the scene before and go right into the music. And it'll just be like a big Broadway review, and it'll be lots of fun. Good? Check. Jones.
Hi. Okay, Monday. The 4 R's. Research, write, revise, and rublish. It's a terrible title. I didn't have a lot of time. So, some of you may know that in my alternate life, I'm an author. I've published several books, and some people have bought at least one of them. I also teach varsity writing at Mount Liberty College. I know what it takes to write quality material, fiction and nonfiction. And I personally believe that there is no skill that you can learn at any age that will be of greater value to you over the course of your life, and especially in your academic life, than learning how to write a kick-butt essay in a very short period of time. I had a terrific senior English teacher when I was in high school who sat us down and made us write 15-minute timed essays every single class period for the entire senior year. I got to college, I didn't even have to go to class half the time, and I could get an A because I knew how to write an essay that made it look like I had been to class. I am not advocating this as like a life path. I'm just saying that there are certain superpowers that you can learn. We're going to write essays, but we're also going to write short stories, we're going to write flash, microfiction, we're going to write novel arcs, we're going to do outlining. I teach this stuff at writing conferences all over the place. I know how to do it. If you take this class, you will come out of it with writing skills you can use in every class that you take, no matter where you go. And, I promise this, you will have a book on your shelf with your material in it by the end of this class. You will be a published author by the time we're done. Okay, so if that's like, you're like, oh, yes. That can happen to you. That's one. Mock trial, I know as I'm trying to go through the schedule. Mock trial. I've been a mock trial coach for the last 5 years. Last 2 years, my teams have gotten to state quarterfinals. I'm dying to win the darn thing. And these are the kids that can do it. I've coached prosecution and defense. I'm not an attorney, but I play one on TV. And that's actually not quite true. I don't think I've ever played an attorney. But I know how the system works, and I know how to put a team together that can be competitive. This is a class, a lot of my classes are tons of fun. This one is fun in a different way. This is a competitive team, and if you sign up for this class and you make the competitive team, we're going to expect you to perform. And by perform, that means you are in a courtroom in front of 3 judges at the state courthouse in Salt Lake City with another team on the other side trying to take you down. If you don't know your stuff, you will get killed up there. If you do know your stuff, there is nothing more fun than watching their witness go because they don't know how to answer your questions. Okay, there are more fun things, but not when you're in high school. All right, so high school and junior high teams will have one of each. This is the ultimate in improv acting, but it also teaches research and writing skills that you cannot get in any other way. Tuesday, Defense Against the Dark Arts. This is a real class. I actually teach this in college as well. There is no silly wand waving or potion brewing in this class. No, we teach you the true dark arts, how you manipulate people's minds, how you get them to do the things that you want them to do. And then we teach you to not do that. Please use your powers for good. However, this generation is going to consume more media than any generation in the history of the world by a factor of some 10 or 20. Already, any child up to the age of 10 has consumed more media in their life than I have in mine. It's impossible to avoid it. Advertising, movies, video games, songs, books, everything. They have theses. All these things are teaching our kids things. But our kids are not defended against that. When an advertisement comes up on TV, yeah, okay, you're trying to sell me something, everybody has defenses against that. You go to Avengers, they're trying to teach you something there too, but that goes right through with the popcorn. You just eat it. Do you know what you're watching? Do you know why it's a good idea to buy into Thanos' proposition? Should you decide not to buy into Thanos' proposition? If you are team Cap, why? However, why? And why are you not team Iron Man?
Yay.
Because they both have pretty compelling propositions. Which side of that debate are you on? Do you know that that debate is actually going on there on the screen? It goes right past our defenses. It does it in video games, in music, in books, in everything we consume. Somebody has a reason for having made it. Are we buying into that reason? Are we seeing through it? We're going to analyze media. We're going to look at how these things work. We're going to look at their language. We're going to look at the music. We're going to look at how it makes us feel. We're going to look at how it makes us think. And when we come out of this class, you're going to have defenses against this stuff. You're not going to go into a movie and sit there and let Grindelwald tell you that they're really the non-violent group just because it's sort of what it looked like at the end, because sometimes people end up. Modern trivia. I knew there was one more. Modern trivia. Also Tuesday. The trivium is rhetoric, logic, and poetics. Basically, how to think, how to learn, and how to communicate what you have learned. This is the basic of building blocks of all learning. This is how you get from being a practice scholar to being a scholar. How you learn how to do this stuff. These are the basic building blocks. We're going to look at the guys who invented this stuff. Read their material. We're going to read speeches. We're going to read Plato and Aristotle and Socrates and kind of look at what they're talking about and why this stuff matters even now in the 21st century. It's accessible all the way down to 10 years old. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of practice involved. There's a lot of arguing in these classes. A lot of back and forth, because you can't learn to do it if you don't put the car on the road and yourself behind the wheel. And there's also a mock trial for that too, and I'm done.
I have 15 classes that I'm going to teach, and I'm going to try to take 5 minutes. So the first one is optimize your brain power. In that class, we're going to focus on how to manage your emotions, but mostly on memory learning and effective study techniques. As a psychotherapist for about 30 years, most of the time, most of the things that I was taught focused on what's wrong with people. About halfway through my career, people started deciding to study what's right with people. A new kind of study, a new college came out called positive psychology. So people who survived challenges in life actually are functioning lower than they were when they had the first challenge. Those are survivors. People who are resilient at least bounce back to where they were, but people who thrive grow past where they were when they had the challenge or trauma or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to talk about don't just survive, thrive. What it means to be a thriver, or a lot of positive psychology. I also do several what have become known as simulations, because all of the students become a person in the time period that we're talking about. So we're going to do World War II, we will do Civil War, and one that's a little less academic, it's called High King's Quest, which is probably the most popular class I have. I wanted to address that one first for parents who wonder what it is. There is a world, I have created a world set in medieval England around 1066, which is at the time of William the Conqueror and Harold Godwinson, and a little bit later the Magna Carta. Anyway, this world is centered around that time period with a few fantastical things in there to spice it up. What people learn in that class, besides a little bit of history, is how to be leaders, how to problem solve, how to think quickly, and lots of other fun things. The same thing go for World War II. They will start as a private and hopefully make it up to a captain or colonel or general. While we're engaging in simulations of the major battles in World War II, and we will learn history, geography, history of the war, but most importantly, we will have a text, and we will be studying what were the causes of the war, how we got into the war. For all of my simulations this year, there will be one requirement for every student, and that is to write what happened the last week as a newspaper article or a letter home. In order to facilitate their writing, I'm going to require that they purchase a writing book. So we will have a textbook for those classes beyond the history, and we will be writing different styles, different ways of writing. Let's see. How to argue and win every time. I hope some of you parents had an experience with your children arguing with you this year. Some of them said they won, some of them said they didn't. Argumentation in its purest sense, in the old sense of the word, meant to come to a greater sense of truth. Not a win-lose situation like in the courtroom, but a win-win situation. So we do cover all of the, I don't know about all, we cover a lot of techniques about how to have an argument, not a fight, an argument with other people. In the second half, last year I only did the first half of the class. In the second half of the class this year, we will also talk about many of the things that Mr. C just mentioned, how people manipulate you and how not to be manipulated. That will be the second semester. So if you took the first semester this last semester, and you want to take the second semester next year, it will be in this spring. Principles of freedom. What if our country fell apart? Would you know enough about government and freedom to be one of those people who help put back some structure? If not, you might want to attend my class. That's the basis of the class, and although we don't exactly study the Constitution, at the end of the class you will know why each part of the Constitution is written the way it is. So it's not a study of the Constitution, but why they wrote what they wrote, as we study the principles of freedom. Related to that one is not a simulation class, but a lot of activities. I call it History of Freedom. I don't remember for sure. Okay, History of Freedom. We will cover the events in England and part of France, Europe basically, that led to the possibility for America to be free. So all of the different events in history that focused us down to why America happened. That's what we study. And we do a lot of fun medieval activities along the way. And one last class, classics in fantasy and science fiction. That might seem like a non-possibility to some of you. Someone agrees.
Love it.
However, in every genre, there are classics that can help us explore who we are and teach us values as well as entertain us. We're going to be reading those kinds of books that do those things and are entertaining. We'll read one or two that are just pure entertainment so that people get an idea of the difference. And I think that's it.
Okay. Vern can do 15 classes that short. I can be quick. I just have competition ballroom. So last year we did social dance. Yay! This year we're stepping it up a notch, and anybody who's been in social dance is definitely ready for this class. We are not, it's not going from here to here, we're just going from here to here, the next step, and it's going to be really, really fun. I'm excited for it, but I want you to know that we aren't just going to be doing just hardcore technique all day long, every day. We're still going to have fun like we did in the social dance class. Some of my students remember we talked about how to introduce yourself, how to politely greet someone, say your name, have a conversation. And so I brought something tonight for my students. We found a mascot. You guys, this is my favorite movie. You can read it with me. Okay. Hello. Come on, you know this. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. See? It's perfect. He's a perfect gentleman. It is the perfect introduction. We taught these things in our class, so this is what we're doing in dance. I'm going to thank him with okay, and then there's so many things that I could talk about, but you can read the class description, so I just want to quickly ask if there's any questions specifically that you have. Yes? No, you do not have to sign up with a partner. In fact, please don't. If you have someone in mind, encourage them to sign up with you, but for the first part of the first good month or two, we're going to be just dancing and learning all the same thing. And so, you know, we will pair up for competition, but you don't have to do it right away. And you definitely don't need a partner in order to sign up.
What days are they? There are 2 days.
Yeah, so it's Monday, Wednesday. We did have a Tuesday, Thursday out there at one point, but it's Monday, Wednesday. And there is a 12 to 13-year-old class and a 14 to 15-year-old.
Is that updated? Because it changed on. I looked up there.
It's updated right now.
Okay.
Right now, it's all correct.
Huge shout out to Andrea, because, boy, she's so awesome. She does good. So much stuff. Any other questions? They don't need to have. It's great if they have, but we're going to move at a little bit faster pace. But there's nothing that they can't catch on to. That they, you know, especially if they're motivated, if they're willing to practice. So, yeah, they can start fresh. So, thank you.
We're going to move on to our Tuesday classes. So Jordan is up. And again, please say all of your classes. And keep in mind that we've already heard a lot of the Tuesday classes. Tuesday, we still have the scholar projects in the morning, and then the enrichment will be open to the associate membership in the afternoons. And I know that there's some mixing of, like, there's no hard line about this is a project and this is a not. We just had to split it at lunch, so just keep that in mind. Associate membership is open in the afternoon, and this Tuesday is for 10 and up, 10 to 18. It's open ages, so come if it appeals to you.
Okay, I am not teaching this class. Jordan's helped me remember that many times, but I'm going to introduce him really quick. He is an animal lover. This is from his trip to Africa last year, and he spent the whole year before that studying about every African animal in great depth, which prepared him for some awesome safari and animal experiences. But anyway, he's just been really excited to teach this class, and I'm so glad that we've got the opportunity for you to mentor here at SVLA. So what qualifies Jordan? This is his passion. He loves all sciences, but zoology is his favorite, and since he can read, he's been studying about animals. And since if anyone will be an audience with or talk to him about animals, he'll be there. What does he love? He just has this naturalist sense. You know, we all have different senses. Some are athletes, and you know, this is one of Jordan's strongest senses. He's a naturalist. He'll find caterpillars or catch the grasshopper when nobody else can, or whatever it is. He's got it, and he's really taking off with that, and I'm just excited for him to keep teaching it. He's planned some great things, so he can tell you about that.
Yeah, I'm super excited to take this class. zoology, the study of wild animals. So yeah, this class is for animal lovers who will step up their studies a notch. In this class, we will mostly explore the animal kingdom through the classification system, as well as we're going to do short readings, prepare a class presentation on a chosen animal family, and a famous zoologist. We'll play an educational game, listen to a guest speaker, and have one field trip opportunity. We will have in-depth discussions on conservation practices, animal welfare, careers in zoology, as well as current issues facing animals. The work required outside of class will include research for the 2 presentations and 5 to 15-page readings. All books and field trip costs are included in the class fee, which is $15. I will communicate the class schedules with parents so they can provide support for students. Parents may also be invited to participate in field trips for carpool if needed.
Sorry, I'm doing Maddie's. She's not here tonight, but she's doing dance exploration. She's going to do a whole bunch of dance styles. I'm going to read her thing. Hip-hop, contemporary, jazz, modern, African. I know she's really excited about African. And some other things as well. She'll also be doing some clogging. And any student that might be interested in doing competition in clogging, it's an option, it's not required. The nice thing about clogging competitions is different from most other forms of dance competitions is that you're not competing against anybody except yourself. So there's an unlimited number of first place winnings. What you would do is they're called all-around solos, but you might think of them as like compulsory programs. And so you're just judged on how well you complete the solos. And there are 5 of those. And if you get a first place in all 5, then you can win another extra award. And again, there's no cap on who can win those. So I've seen as few as 2 people win at a competition. I've seen as many as probably 25 is about the most I've seen win it. So it's kind of nice that it's a good way to get your feet wet in competition without like really pressured competitions. And that is totally optional. Anyone who would be interested would need to buy clogging shoes. They are kind of pricey. They're about $50. But sometimes you can find used ones. And students that are not going to compete will be able to just, they won't need those shoes, but you will need either some ballet slippers or some jazz shoes for the rest of dance class. She would like to provide a couple of performance opportunities, and she also would like to do a couple of field trips to watch a couple of professional dance companies. She has a couple different ones in mind. So any questions, you can ask her. Okay. All right, the first class, Give Me Liberty. I'll be teaching this with Amber. I saw her somewhere. Oh, right back here. Amber Pena and I will be team teaching this. The first semester is kind of a focus on the Revolution, Declaration of Independence. The spine book that we're probably using is called Guts and Glory, The American Revolution. You need to purchase that book. The rest of the books we'll be using, most of them can be just through the library. And I believe that book is about $6, so it's not a terribly huge expense, but there is that one to buy. How our class works is we have weekly themes. You can read a little bit about that in the class description. And then we have all kinds of simulations, games, projects, there's activities. You'll get to know the men and women. It's really important to me that you get to know the women that are involved, and they'll be doing in-class presentations and reports throughout the semester. Probably one in each of the 5-week sessions, so they would plan to do 3. That may change slightly, but that's the plan right now. We will also memorize the Declaration of Independence, and we'll do that in class, but they'll probably need to work on that a little bit at home as well. The second semester, we focus on the Constitution. We have a series of 6 debates that go over the 6 big ideas in the Constitution, and we learn quite a bit about Washington, D.C. itself. And we end the year by putting on a play called Give Me Liberty. So that's that class. Reading Adventure. We are not going to be able to do very much writing this year. Last year in Reading Adventure, the first semester we did writing prompts every day, and the second semester we wrote a story that took the whole semester. But because we only have an hour, we're not going to be able to write as much. So there will be a writing component, but it's not a main focus of the class. It's kind of just getting your feet wet with writing and kind of exploring your creative writing side. We have lots of fun novels that are being considered. I do not have a complete book list yet, but if you would like to know exactly what books we'll be looking at or exactly what ones are being considered, you can definitely talk to me about that. I do have a list, but it takes me the summer to go through. I'll really make sure that they're what we're looking for. It does take probably an hour and a half, 2 hours a week in reading time. It's totally fine to do books on CD. I have quite a few students that reading disabilities or whatever prefer to listen to them on CD, and that is okay for this class. And then we just do a lot of projects and activities that are inspired by the books. We usually take a couple field trips. For example, this last semester we read a book about ancient Mayans, and then we went to the Mayan exhibit, and we read Matilda, and then we went and watched Matilda. Okay, classical civilizations. We're going to learn about the classical civilizations kind of from the ground up. So we'll start actually with the civilizations that built Rome and that built Greece. So we'll start with like the Etruscans and the Minoan civilizations, and we'll just follow them kind of side by side, watch them develop, watch them grow, go through their sort of golden age, and then fall through the Middle Ages. We'll go through the Renaissance. We'll kind of see how they operated through the World Wars and how they ended up where they're at today, what that looks like. Students in this class, this is a scholar level class, this is on Wednesdays, right? Yeah. Okay, this is on Wednesdays. This is definitely a scholar level class. They will be doing presentations, reports, there's quite a bit of reading involved. Almost every lesson has some form of a film component, not feature-length films, but almost every lesson has a little video that some will be in class, some will be at home. So there's definitely work to do at home. We'll be talking about geography, art, culture, food, pretty much everything you can think of. There'll be a little bit of a language component in this class, or they'll be learning a little bit of foreign language. It's not a huge part, but they will be probably about 10 minutes in each class, and then at home they'll set a goal of how much foreign language practice they're going to do a week. But it's not a huge part. You could say, my goal is 10 minutes 3 days a week or something. It's not a big part, it's just something we want to cover as well. We'll talk about the Western worldview, how that kind of developed from Rome, and how Christianity then influenced that. We have a couple of field trips planned, some to look at art, some to have food, and we have a couple of cooking classes as well. I'm really excited about our Greek cooking class and Italian cooking class. Okay, I'm almost done. Armor Up. This class is required if your student is on the Junior Student Council. I'll be teaching this with Janice, so very excited to have her help. This is not only for Junior Student Council though. So if there's someone who's not on the Junior Student Council that would still like to take this class, we'd love to have you. We'll be basing this off, our spine book is How to Win Friends and Influence People, which you will need to purchase. The other books we'll be using can be gotten from the library. We're kind of combining this with Knights of the Round Table, over Knights of the Round Table, and so we'll be combining the code of conduct of the Knights with the leadership principles that we're learning in the book. It is, I was going to give you an example because I know that sounds confusing. One of the ones I was going to talk about was that one of the principles is to offer sincere and honest appreciation, and how that relates to one of the Knights codes. And so then you would do a practical activity, like maybe you're going to go home and experience what it feels like to give appreciation, or to be on the receiving end, or to not. And then they might write a little paragraph about it. And as they complete challenges, they will level up. So you'll start as a page, and you'll end the semester, hopefully, as a knight. Then the second semester, we will all be knights, and we'll be going on a quest. And we'll be going on a quest for the Holy Grail. And I'm done.
Okay, so the class, Rachel, you want to come up here? The physics exploratorium class is what we're talking about, and this is Tuesday morning, so this is for 10 and up. Physics is usually a really math-heavy class, but this is just going to be kind of an introduction to concepts in physics and exploring them. So no previous math experience is required. We will be introducing some mathematical concepts like vectors and stuff because you have to talk about that to do forces. But don't feel like you have to have math skills to do this class. It's going to be very hands-on. Every week we're going to be doing experiments and doing demonstrations and just playing around with different things in physics. We're going to do forces and potential energy, kinetic energy, projectile motion. That one's going to be really fun. And we'll include slingshots out in the park with water balloons and mentors as the targets. Magnetism, light, electricity, all of these different things we're going to be exploring. And each week, as many times as we can, we're going to leave it up to the students to devise the experiments to explore these principles. We'll bring all the materials and we'll bring some common sense, so hopefully nothing gets broken. But we want to give the students opportunities to learn how to create hypotheses and to test them in the class. And so that's kind of what it will be. And Rachel's going to be helping me maintain the chaos and have fun. So I'll pass it off to you.
All right, my class is Junior Achievement BizTown, JA BizTown. If you haven't heard of it, there's a lot of information on the web that you can look up and find out more about that. It's really just a simulation day that we prepare for all semester. This is just a second semester class. So please do not sign up for this class if you can't attend on June 2nd. I can only take so many kids with me that day, and I'll need some parent volunteers to help also to make it run. But we go and we work in a business. They'll have to apply for jobs beforehand. We'll have some CEOs and CFOs, and come the day of, the salespeople or tellers or whatever businesses we get to do, because we don't get to sign up to that for that until August, I should know, in August. And then we go and we run those meaning the kids run the businesses. And then they also have chances to go out and purchase things at other businesses. It's a lot of fun. I've never talked to anyone that has not loved it. So please do not sign up if you can't come on June 2nd. Don't sign up if you've already done this twice, so that everyone else gets a chance. And then also we are going to take the opportunity to go to some of those businesses that we will sign up for and have a field trip with those, so that we were more familiar with what their business does. And then also the class fee will cover all the materials, including what we pay BizTown to be there that day. That's it.
Okay, we are Holmes and Watson.
Hello.
And we have bought a zoo. And we need help finding the most unusual, most... I got one! Animals that you haven't seen and learned about. So that's what we're going to be studying. Just animals you don't normally see. It's going to be more of a fun class. We're going to incorporate drawing. Watson here is very good at incorporating art, so it's important that we draw and how you learn what's your favorite parts. And Watson is super smart. How did you get so smart, Watson?
Well, Sherlock, I was homeschooled.
So this class is an epic style class. If you're not familiar with that, it follows the exposure, pattern, inquiry, and contribution model. So it's hands-on, fun class. We're just looking to have fun with the kids, but this is the basis of it. We're looking to bring in these unusual animals, anything that the kids find interesting. We want them during the week to have their parents help them find a YouTube video or a book. They'll have their journals again to draw because they need to bring their research back to us so we can decide if it is going to make it into our zoo or not. Okay. Thank you. are doing the UN Science, and we're just really excited about it. We've been following it for quite a while. We've gone to several conferences so that we can learn from the people that started it and teach it. And we really wanted an opportunity to be able to teach it, but this is the book, and we've tried to go through it, and it is a tough book to go through. But they just came out with a workbook, and it's aimed at younger kids, so we figured we couldn't flub it up too bad. And we're just so anxious to learn more. So we're going to be going through the workbook. Going through it, we decided that we're going to do some of the first lessons before school starts. If you're able to make it.
At library or something like that.
Just an hour once a week, the first like 4 or 5 weeks before school, so that we can delve into
just the basis of discovering truth. That's the first couple of lessons are about how we learn truth and how we can recognize what is truth. And then it gets into, so that when we get to classes, we can get into more experiments and things like that. It's going to be fun. Hopefully a field trip per semester. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of field trips going around in SVLA though, so we'll have to weigh on whether, we'd like to do more than 2, but we'll see. Oh, any parents who want to come, if somebody else is teaching the class, I'd love to sit in the back and watch you. So if you want to come and be a part of it as well, you're welcome to.
And we do ask that any of the kids that sign up, that the family has either a copy of the book digitally or hard copy, just so that you know what the kids are learning and it's something you can discuss at home. That's going to be the only homework for the kids, is go home and discuss something with their family that we talked about. Yes, so we are teaching the practice scholars. Boyd Tuttle is teaching the scholars, and I think he has a video we're hopefully going to show later. She's going to email it out, never mind. But he's teaching the scholars, and
he's brilliant. Tell me. He's a big wig. And doesn't he publish people? He helped produce the book and publish the book and get the word out about Universal Model. He also, I believe, assisted Underground Railroad, Operation Underground Railroad, to get out and be known as well. So he's somebody who he loves truth, loves seeking truth and getting people published who are discovering truth and trying to let other people know. So we're really blessed to have him coming to SVLA. A lot of people have heard about it and thought, got Boyd Tuttle. So come along and learn more. And if you don't know anything about Universal Model, I encourage you to look it up because it'll rock your world. And just magma theories and things like that, different scientific things. It's pretty exciting stuff to look into things and see how creation actually, how the world really was created.
Okay, so on the last hour of Tuesday, it's called Body Works, and it can be 10 and up, so even older kids if they want to come in. It's just a anatomy / herbal / health and wellness class. I'm a foot zonology practitioner, almost a master herbalist. So we're just going to go over systems in the body, different organs, what do they do, what can you do to help them, what can you do to hinder them. So it's going to touch on all 3 of those. We're going to make stuff, and that's that. So.
Hi, I'm Dan Hill. I'm going to give you a little backdrop first of how I got into 3D animation. It's just a cool word, isn't it? No, we're good. I feel like naked without a mouse in my hand, trying to demonstrate. My last year in college, I was training to be a designer, and they offered a 3D class. This was back in 1998. Many of you weren't even around then. And I took this class, and it just blew me away. But it was incredibly primitive technology back then. And I got out of college and went right to work for a company producing software for kids, educational software, called the Waterford Institute. And we put this stuff throughout the world. They were published by Pearson Education, which is a huge scholarly publishing firm. And I worked there for a few years and got to the point where I was directing my own little team. And the Waterford School is owned by the Waterford Institute. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Waterford School. It's arguably one of the best private schools in the nation. And I was asked one day to substitute for one of the programming instructors who was out of town. And I didn't know a ton about programming, but I said, well, how about just introducing these kids to some animation techniques? And the head of the school said, yeah, that's great. So I just figured I was going to be killing time. Halfway through this week that I was doing this class, the head of the school comes in the back and just sits there watching. And I taught my classes and went back to work with my team. And about a month later, she came in and she was affiliated with the Institute. And she came into my office and said, "You're a natural teacher." And I had no idea that was the case. But I knew that I really enjoyed that. And she said, how about, I've already talked to your boss, and we're going to let you go from your job for a few hours a day, and you're going to come over and teach at the school, which was on the same campus. And that began a lifelong, I'm sure, love of teaching kids. I feel like Forrest Gump, just being led around, not knowing what's going to happen next, not knowing beforehand the things which I should do. And it's just been an amazing adventure. So I taught at Waterford for 17 years. In 2011, I left. I kind of felt like I learned everything they could teach me there, and I started my own company. And it had nothing to do with teaching. We just produced animation and video production for companies. I was there 1 year when I suddenly I had this hole in me, and I missed teaching so badly. Yes? Yeah, oh, sorry. And anyway, I started paper plane learning that year, and we just taught in the afternoons to kids. I had no idea homeschooling existed back then. But we've since become acquainted with all of you incredible people. I'm going to go out on a limb. These classes are amazing. We start them knowing nothing, and we go all the way to college level. By the time you get done, you'll be able to get a job in animation. We really kind of try to cover everything. I'm going to go out on a limb. This is unrehearsed, but I'm going to ask, like Aiden Anderson, you've taken a few of my classes. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was just having fun and teaching us, and it was just really fun that we helped us.
Cool. Okay. And Rebecca Nelson is here too. I had no idea she'd be here. Yeah, and Ella.
I took the class last year, and it's amazing. We've done some online classes before, but they learned so much in just a year. They animated robots and attaching skeleton systems to them to make them just insane stuff.
We try to do it exactly the way Pixar or any of these other companies do it, but it's so much more than video games and movies. 3D animation and modeling is virtually in every single discipline out there, from the law degrees to architecture to engineering to any sort of thing. It's an incredible skill set that you learn. Sorry, my time's up. But let me just give you one more thing. If you guys want to come and try a free class, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. You can text me, and we'll sign you up and let you know. It is 801-673 3987. We do these every other week for anybody off the street who wants to just come in for an hour. You sit down, you have your own workstation, and you can try this amazing, incredibly addictive, but so valuable skill. It's not going away. 3D modeling and animation is going to become more and more part of our daily lives.
I have a question. What skills are prerequisite for?
We've taught them as young as 5 years old. You can come in knowing nothing. So, yeah, we'll start you wherever you're at. That's it.
Okay, Soraya had to run. She had 1 million kids with her, so I sent her home. Oh, you got here. Yay! She's like, Marianne's not here. Okay, I'm going to let Marianne take over.
Yes, I'm here. We have a wedding in 2 days.
I'm here.
All right. Woo!
we're teaching, Soraya and I are teaching a sewing class. The only requirement is that you bring a running sewing machine. I don't stick sewing machines, so bring a running one. That's good. There's not very expensive ones like Walmart or Joann's, you know, things like that. So we have all sorts of different ideas. This isn't a class just for girls, it's a class for boys and girls. First, we just found things. There's a cute pillowcase. Girls and boys, right? So I got things like purses, backpacks. Depending on your level, we'll teach you and we'll get, you know, we'll do projects. And if you're more advanced seamstresses, anyway, you can come and talk to me and Soraya, and we'll okay a project for you, and you can do whatever you want. We'll start basic for the ones that are basic, and the ones that are more advanced do the things that they can do in class. Soraya has some fun ideas for boys. We have like bow ties, Nerf gun holders, dart holders, things like that. You know, things like that. So for girls, there's unlimited things. Oh, and then for youth council, Soraya and I are also doing youth council. We're starting off a little slow. We're gonna get gung-ho right after the wedding is over, so that's good. We are going to be teaching the 7 Habits of Successful Teens. I think that's the title of it. And it's only for youth council. They are required to be there. They can't take any other classes during that class. That's our only meeting time. It's going to be an hour. We really don't have a lot of time. So we'll just hurry and do that. It's not for others.
Junior's open to others, senior's not.
Senior not. We will have meetings during the summertime that they are required to come to. So we can plan the retreat. And that's all. Okay.
Okay, Ella and I are mentoring the beginning watercolor class. I really don't know much about watercolor, but Ella's been teaching me, so I'm going to be kind of her assistant. She's going to teach the class, but
Okay, so we're teaching beginning watercolor class. Our class is pretty much going to be fully focused on just improving their watercolor skills and having a lot of fun, because there are a lot of incredibly fun techniques to learn watercolor, and so many different styles especially. We're going to including working with different styles of brushes, splatter, these are examples, but they're not exactly the same. Splatter, shading, layering, rest technique, still life, flowers, silhouettes, animals, and watercolor calligraphy. Some of the samples we have. We're going to put them out in the hall so you can look closely if you want to. Our class is going to be pretty much about increasing their knowledge of different styles of watercolor art, different techniques, drawing and design, being creative, and most of all having a ton of fun. We're going to have a couple local artists, guest speakers come in, talk to us a little bit about that. And we'll have some end of semester art shows at the very end to kind of showcase their art projects that we work on.
Hi, I'm Emily Swingston, and this is Jordan Baker. And we're going to be teaching a class called Warrior Up. We, as you know, live in a very rough time. It's dark. Our world is very dark, and we can look for light. But if we don't learn how to receive revelation, we're not going to survive. And President Russell M. Nelson has encouraged us to become part of the Lord's Battalion. But what does that look like? How many of us are trained as soldiers? We're not. Okay? Soldiers, spiritual soldiers need training just like your physical soldiers do. And that's what this class is all about. This class is not for pansies. This is not seminary, and this is not Sunday school, okay? This is a class about learning to actually get answers to your questions from God. It's about building a relationship with Him and about approaching Him as His child with courage, okay? Let's see here. Drendan and I are not perfect, and those of you who know us will know that. But what we bring to the table is that we love the Lord, and between the two of us, we have a lot of life experience, some really good and some really not good. And we are here to help you learn how to be a warrior in the Lord's battalion if that's what you want.
You've pretty much summed it up. We're going to be learning about habits. We love to study. We both do it very differently. And so we're going to try to help whoever takes our class figure out the best way for them to study the scriptures, to seek personal revelation, and be able to get answers to their prayers in the way that they can receive them best. And we'll do that through habits, spiritual experiments. Emily is amazing at research in that way. And I think that about covers it.
I'm going to be doing a math class again this year. Alex, do you want, oh, he's gone. Here he is. Alex is going to be helping me so we can level this class, so we can come for just show up and don't do any outside work, just experience, to help. I love math to help order your brain, to help to think correctly and logically. So that's just a kind of an introduction, show up and play some games and get better at thinking math. There's going to be lots of hands-on. And then we're going to combine together with kids that are ready for a textbook and working through. I love the textbook that I found. It's called Mathematics, a Human Endeavor. If you want to know more about it, please contact me. It just really helps you understand how math works, helps you think logically. I love it, but you do need to commit to doing 2 lessons a week. So that'll take some time, probably 2 or 3 hours a week. Maybe 1, probably not. All right, and Leonard Preston.
Okay, I'm Desiree Preston, and this is Jenny over here. It's Jenny Leonard, and we've been teaching together for many years now, and we're offering 2 classes. I'll start with the pre-scholar class. It's called Literature for Life, and the idea behind it is that as learners for life, we go forward and we have a love for gathering truth and knowledge from great books. And so this will be a place to discuss some of those classics. And by classics, I mean books that teach us something about life. We will probably be reading 60 to 90 pages a week. Mostly, we don't mind if you're doing some audiobooks. In fact, one of our selections, we would probably want you to do the audiobook. The list of selections that we have are listed in our class description, and we will probably look to see who signed up for our class and then kind of adjust the book list that way. For example, our first semester, we had all 12-year-old girls sign up for our class, so that we decided that we would read books that 12-year-old girls would like. But if we had all 12-year-old boys, we may choose a different selection. So the expectations for the class are a lot of reading. Now, I noticed that there are at least 2 literature classes being offered in pre-scholars. One is Monica's Reading Adventures class, and one is ours. And Monica's class was awesome. I had one of my kids take it this last semester, or this last year, and it was great. This class may be a little tiny bit more challenging, but it's also more about what each child is coming to learn from the literature. So Monica puts a lot of effort, and admirably so, into doing like a class activity. Our class is more about discussion and then bringing a class project that you create to share what you learned. So that's maybe the difference. I just thought it would be good for you to know. Then our Reading the Classics class is the scholar level class, and this time we're going to read a pretty challenging classic. We haven't decided which one it is, and we're willing to take suggestions. Some of the ones that we've considered are The Count of Monte Cristo and Jane Eyre, Frankenstein, David Copperfield, and the Screwtape Letters. And we will choose one of those, and we will heavily annotate it, so you'll need to buy a copy of whatever books we choose. We will slow down from what we did last year as far as the pages, because we're gonna slow down, but then there will be a writing component. You can look at our class description about that. The one thing to remember about the writing component is that the writing needs to come to class edited. And so we're requiring the students to have at least one outside editor, or they can email Jenny and I for that time, but we expect to be paid for that extra outside time. So if, as a parent, you're willing to give that to your child or find them an editor, it doesn't have to be a great, fantastic editor, but we want them to be coming with a prepared piece of writing that is typed. So feel free to ask me any questions afterward, or Jenny.
Monica Isaacson did a chamber orchestra this year, and they did a fantastic job. The kids just really made a lot of progress. It's combined band and string instruments. They do need to have, the students need to have at least a year of experience there. She just doesn't teach beginners. She's not here tonight. Okay, so we're going to move on to Brian Mortensen.
My sister told me to toot my horn a little bit. Jessica Cox, she's my sister. I don't know you guys, I'm new around here. I'm Brian Mortensen, and she's the one who told me about this. I'm a software developer. I've been at it for 11 years now, and I'm quitting my job next month to pursue some ideas of my own. And along with building some apps, one of the things that I wanted to do was to start some classes and teach kids. So when she told me about this, it was a perfect fit. So I'm going to be teaching 2 classes. They're both going to be starting from scratch. One is just going to require a little more time and effort than the other, move a little bit faster. But we're going to be learning the basics of programming. We're going to be learning JavaScript, which is not only a great beginner language, but it is one of the most in-demand languages among professional developers today. I use it every day. We're going to have a ton of fun. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun projects. For example, tic-tac-toe bots. We're going to write bots that can play tic-tac-toe. You can play against it, or have them play against each other. That's just one idea. How much time have I spent? Okay. I just want to tell you guys why everybody should learn programming. You're going to learn. You're not just learning programming when you're learning programming. You're learning critical thinking. You're learning how to process information. You are becoming empowered. You feel the accomplishment of being able to take a hard problem, break it down into little pieces, and solve it. A lot of people like to say that programmers think of themselves as rock stars. I feel more like a superhero. Because you just feel like, oh, yeah, I can do that. I don't know what to do. I can figure it out. Let's see, let me check my notes. How much time do I have? 20 seconds, great. As far as the class itself, I refer to the notes, the class description on the website. You can also call me and email me with questions. There's something I wanted to say. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing lots of offline activities. We're going to be doing, we're going to have lots of great resources. We're going to have videos we're going to be watching. We're going to be doing visual programming with blocks to get us started. I don't have a picture to show you, but talk to me later. That's it.
Nicholas, are you in here? All right.
I just texted him. I was like, dude, you're up. So Nicholas Olson is my son. He is a rock star in parkour and free running. And so he'll be teaching a class, and it's in the afternoon, so anyone can sign up. Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Have any of you guys seen the beginning of Casino Royale, that James Bond movie? So the final for the parkour class is an obstacle course like at the beginning of Casino Royale, where the African guy is like climbing all over the building structures, and the cranes and everything, and James Bond's chasing him. Oh yeah, they're totally gonna do climbing. Nico's bringing pads and things like that, but they'll have a lot of fun. And he teaches them how to jump and roll. If any of you parents are afraid of your kids climbing on tall fences or anything, he teaches them how to jump and roll out of it and land safely. Nico, do you want to add to that? Because you kind of missed your...
Yeah,
I covered everything.
Show what they covered. Like, nah, I'm currently injured right now, so that sucks, but that should be some class.
If you want to know what parkour is, Google parkour.
You're not doing it right. Yeah, I do a bunch of stuff. I've been doing it for about 7 years total. I'm on 2 different movement teams. One's a parkour and free running team. It's called Outsiders Free Running. We get together, we make videos, upload them on YouTube. They're pretty sick. You guys should check them out. And then the other team I'm on is Triceratops. Okay, cool. It's a tricking team, which is a little different. I'll explain it later, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Emily Cooker. Can we just make a little bit of room right here, kids? Thank you. Aloha. Aloha. Okay, girls, spread out. All right, I only have a minute to talk, so really quick, I'm from Hawaii. I love to dance Polynesian dancing. I'm Antija, and I'll be teaching hula and tahitian. And it's my passion. I have 8 kids, they all love to dance too. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what my class will look like. And I wanted to say it's for all ages, for my 3-year-old up to 18-year-olds to moms, okay?
Oh, I don't dance. My name is Jared Johnson. I teach for the Wasatch Independent Debate League speech and debate classes. We have about almost 400 students and about 25 classes up and down the Wasatch front. I'm going to be teaching here on Tuesday afternoons from 2 to 4. It's a speech and debate class, but I think of it more of a class that helps students get what's in here out. We just finished with a class I had Stetson and Ella and Abby and several other people here in this last year's beginning class. And as we were talking, one of them asked me a question, why do you teach speech and debate? And I said, well, obviously I love teaching. I teach a lot of different things. But I especially teach it because speech and debate, because I see the influence that it has in all areas of a student's life. We talk about how it helps them learn to process better, think better, write better, research better, speak better. And the students started responding. One said, oh yeah, it's been a cinch to write essays ever since I took this class because I could actually research and get things out easily. Another student earlier in the year told me about how easy it was for him to do a job interview. He didn't feel those nervous jitters because he was so confident on doing it. And they also had the speaking church, which is a cinch, because they've learned how to effectively organize their minds, organize their habits, to speak effectively no matter the situation, no matter the topic. This class is 2 hours long on Tuesday afternoons, and there's a homework load associated with it, about 1 hour to 2 hours each week. And this homework is all modeling from videos, documents what we've done here in class, and then doing assignments, whether that be speaking at home, a lot of speaking, researching, writing, learning all the different skills that we're doing, and then they come back to class for feedback and additional practice with others. Throughout the year, we have 7 debate tournaments up and down the Wasatch Front at various universities, and they get an opportunity to interface with other homeschoolers from here up in Ogden down to Payson and sometimes even up from Idaho or California who come out to these debate tournaments. And as they do that, they love the opportunity to socialize with each other, and they get feedback in smaller groups from different parents like you about what is persuasive to them. It's a truly awe-inspiring experience for a lot of parents who come out and help judge or help observe their kids, and they talk regularly about how much growth they've seen in their students. So the homework component is doing these different assignments at home, 1 to 2 hours each week, and attending a number of classes throughout the year. There's more information at wasatchdebate.org. If you know, if you're familiar with Sam Martineau, he's the one that started this debate league, and I've been teaching for him now. This is my 4th year. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer your questions back there, and I hope that it's possible to take the debate class. It's for ages 12 and 13 and up. Thank you so much.
Just a few more and some great mentors, so thank you for your patience. I'm just going to present Jackie Ward's writing class. She did IEW this year. My daughter took it, and just some really fabulous writing. Like Mr. C said, writing serves you in every aspect of your life, and it's just some really great skills. So this is a continuation of that class, but she did say that okay, I'll read it. This class works best if you've had previous IEW experience, that's the curriculum, but we'd still love to have you, even if you haven't. You'll just need to be willing to dig in and work hard and ask questions. So she's using The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, some reading each week, and then writing, modeling after C.S. Lewis. It can't get better than that. And she says the IEW structure and style of writing is a great tool to help you make your writing more, using strong verbs to make your writing come alive. And talking about grammar and structure and using narratives, summarizing references, writing for pictures and formal essays. So it's fabulous, great opportunity. All right, Rodney.
All right, I need some participation, so here we go. If you know it, I want you to start singing it again. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum.
Good. Now that was awesome. My name is Rodney Walker. I'm here to teach, I think the actual title of the class is How to Be a Rock Star at Speaking. It's going to be changed over to like how to become a superhero, right? Because that's what this is all about. Some of you are team captain, some of you team Iron Man, I don't care. I'm team Hulk, because Hulk's good, right? So in my class, one of the key features that I think that everyone has to accomplish in this life is learning how to speak. You have to learn how to captivate an audience. There are going to be times in your life when someone will come to you with advice, and if you don't know how to communicate exactly what you want to say to them, you can let that person go. And that's one thing we don't want to do, is we want to be able to make sure that we can help everybody with the power of our speech. Just think of how many of you listen to music all the time. Because there's speech and there's power inside that. Who's got a favorite quote? Ireland?
Make the floor stupid.
That's right. You think about it, even on the wall there, Jesus is love, right? People put up quotes, words, because words have meaning, and if you can communicate that, you will change people. And that's what we're going to be learning. So there's going to be lots and lots of like practice of talking to different people, going up to strangers. And it doesn't matter if you're scared or not, because this class, you're going to bust through those barriers. Okay? I used to be so scared that I would never talk in front of somebody. Talent, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So you got to make sure that you always are paying attention. Because when you learn to pay attention and you learn to dedicate yourself to a skill, you will become a master. And that we saw some dancing here, those are awesome. But it's all going to take practice, 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 and more practice. And then even more, just like writing, right? So, let us Hulk smash this class, right? Can you guys say Hulk smash, right? All right, here we go. Thanks for your time.
Hi, I'm Fred Pena. I'm a business attorney. I'm going to be teaching Entrepreneurship 101. We're going to go through through literature, through analyzing other companies, and then through a practical of actually starting a company. And so the goal is to teach the kids how to shake the nickel bush.
My name is Jesse Rosa. I am a math teacher, and I don't know anybody. Yes, I have a few faces here, beautiful face, the dancers here. So, yeah, I teach Algebra 1, 2, and physics. Actually, I teach math all the way to calculus, and I graduated from BYU Chemical Engineering, and graduated from University of Utah. In physics and chemistry also. I worked for Coca-Cola for 16 years doing research in lab, testing beverages and everything. So I'm glad to be here, and I'll be down there if you guys have any questions for me. I hope every parent that is here can have the children in my class. It's a fun class, but I can be mean sometimes. And I'm impressed. I had teaching kids as young as Melly. And when I got her, she didn't know much, but now I believe she can do a lot of things that with a lot of the 14-year-olds very jealous. They're good for that.
Malia just said, I love his class, but I don't love math. And Malika told me about you. She said, my girls hated math until they met Jesse Rosa.
Oh, thank you. I participate, guys. It is seeing kids to learn. And I hope we made the prize afford for people. Because what happens is you go to public school. I'm not bad mouth public school. Okay, there's good things there, there are bad things, there are good things. But they promote you whether you learn or not. With a private school, you can afford that. How can you afford about $700 a month or something like that? Now here you have in front of you guys a chemical engineer. Somebody that actually, I taught at the University of Utah for 2 years there with Professor DeFord, electrostatics and magnetism. That's what I taught there at the University of Utah. I had about 200 students over there. So if you want the referrals, you can go over there. But my point here is this. This is not to blow my own horn. This is not the case. I'm telling you guys this. I know what I'm doing. And I know your children need the help. I have 100 students this past year. And as I look around, they are so behind in math. So I want to prepare them not only for ACT, not only for college. I want to prepare them for life. But loving, and loving the teacher is the first thing. Hopefully they come to love and do what I'm asking them to do. I promise, if they take the class, if they do what I'm asking them to do, if they don't have any biological impairment, they will not learn the math, but they will come to learn, to love the subject as well.
Just really quick, if I could just put in a plug for Jesse. I appreciate him being here. I'm really excited to have him to be a part of SVLA. Mel and Emilia were able to take a class from him this past year, pre-algebra and algebra. In the same class, Emilia has not been able to really enjoy math. That's a way to put it. For the past 2 years. And Jesse has saved our family, I feel like. Malia just talks about how he's such an awesome teacher. If the kids are looking like, this is Malia's perception. If she's not getting it, or it's just over her head, or if it's too much and it's just kind of turning into this, okay, I've hit a wall, he'll crack a joke, and all of a sudden everything's fine. And Malia just loves Mamela too. So they both have had their math confidence boosted, which has been concern for me with homeschooling. We love homeschooling, we're grateful to do it, but it's such a good thing to have Jesse be their teacher. I'm so grateful that he's going to be a part of our SVLA.
Sorry, I can't see that sign back there. I'm going to be teaching theater and stage makeup, and I'm going to be teaching the basics that you would have to do. If you ever talk to anybody that has done Hale Center Theater, the actors there, they do all their own makeup unless it's a specialty makeup. So if you're thinking about stage or theater, then you have to learn how to do your own stuff. So I'll be teaching starting at the basics at corrective makeup, going up to old age makeup, some latex old age, and even some wounds and some bruises and things like that. And hopefully, I'm trying to arrange having a professional makeup artist come in and show us some specialty makeup as well. And as part of the fees, you'll get a kit that looks a lot like this, and it's just going to be the basic stage makeup that you would have to in order to do that.
Okay, I'm going to put it there so you can all stare at them. My name is Marlene Camplin. I am teaching a class called Yummy Eats and Tasty Treats. And it is going to be a dairy-free cane sugar, if you don't know what that is, that's the white stuff, and gluten-free class, cooking class for the teens, 14 and up, because they are going to be doing the cooking mostly. We're going to teach them some basic things that they can make easily for themselves and for their friends. Also something that, like a Panda Express orange chicken. Gonna teach them how to do that. Gonna teach them how to do that, and just some things that they can do to eat gluten-free, and to know that not all gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free food is nasty. If my family can attest that I have made some things. I've been doing this for 11 years, and I've made some things that don't taste very good. These are good. So if you're brave enough, if you're interested in taking the class, obviously I underestimate it. I don't have enough for everybody. But if you have an allergy and you want to try them, you're welcome to come and find me. I'm not going to leave them up here, so there's not a mad dash. I do want to let the parents know that they are welcome to come to the class, but they are not going to be allowed to participate in cooking because they really want the kids to learn how to do these things, because it's important for them to know it's a big thing. So, thank you.
Hey. Okay, so I'm teaching the embroidery class, which is the last hour of spring semester on Wednesday. Abby has some samples she can show you, but I'm basically going to take you from like beginning hand stitching, like you've never threaded a needle and thread before. Hopefully some of you have. We'll take you there to basic hand stitching, to embroidery stitching, and we have several projects we'll put together, from things that you can wear, jewelry, needlebook, and you'll all complete a sampler, so you'll be able to practice a lot of different stitches before you put them to a project. And so hopefully, if you guys are interested in hand stitching or hand sewing, that you will take my class. That's it.
Goodness, that was a long haul. Sorry guys, we try really hard, but we've got so many classes, and we were just saying, oh, we have so many classes. It's a good problem to have. Thank you. Thank you all of you mentors for offering your amazing talents and your passions. Thank you parents for putting up with a very long meeting. Thank you students for being so patient. Just a small warning, I've been in the hall 3 times and every time it's been a disaster. So if you'll please gather your children quickly, help them clean up whatever messes they've made throughout the building, and then skedaddle, I'd appreciate it. Thanks again. This video will be posted. I hope you guys have a wonderful time trying to decide which classes you're going to take, because they're all going to be at the same hour on the same day and you're going to cry over it. So have a great night. We love you all.